One of my favorite interviews was George Chuvalo, who was one of my all-time favorite people. An incredible fighter who went through personal tragedy, some of which I can relate to. Let's roll some of that, Vic.
When you walk down the street, you know that some people who recognize you, they know that story.
Yeah.
So your pain is public.
Right.
And that when they see you, you know that sometimes that's what they think. Is it ever a sensitive subject for you when you know that people know so much about your personal life?
I think in a way it's almost comforting in a crazy kind of way. When people know about it, it's kind of like, then I guess I say to myself some kind of quiet moment. Well, people know about it, and I think they have empathy for me. So that way, So it's kind of like, not that I'm looking for empathy, but it shows, and people sometimes come to me, George, I know you've been through a lot. Well, they don't have to detail what I went through, but they're kind of familiar with it. They know that I lost a good portion of my family, and most people can feel for you that way.
That must have been a difficult interview to do, for sure.
Yeah, the human thing is really important to me, and when I sit down and across from somebody like George, who's had so much loss, I wanted to create a space where we could have a very real conversation, like a very real conversation, and I was grateful that he was willing to go there, and I loved his answers. George is one of the great athletes Canada has ever been lucky enough to call one of their own. And I wanted just people to know that about him. I wanted to know that he is this rounded story, this rounded person with lots to offer. He was funny too. His stuff, he used to come on the old radio show with Spider Jones back in the day, another legend. I've been such a big fan of George, obviously, such a big fan. But yeah, no, it wasn't that it was necessarily difficult, but I took great care